I mean, the elephant in the room is TikTok, right? And kind of what they introduced to the world, where Facebook and Instagram were built on these friends and follower models, showing you content from them mostly. You call it connected internally versus unconnected. TikTok was like, we're just going to show you what we think our AI thinks you'll like. And it turns out people really like that. And you're currently re-architecting the feeds to be more like TikTok's For You page, in the sense that it's going to be content that you maybe necessarily didn't even know you wanted to see.
Yeah.
Right. And you said that this is a huge AI challenge. It's a huge technical undertaking. I think you said internally it'll take a while for you to like be where TikTok is in terms of how good
Very technical term.
Yeah. I'm wondering, what is the actual what is the AI challenge that you're currently having the teams go through to make this discovery engine as compelling as you want it to be?
You know, when we got started with Newsfeed, I don't think we were years away from having the technology to be able to do the content understanding on each post in the system, understand what they're about, understand what you care about, and then be able to recommend you, like in real time, basically, with very low latency, content that you might be interested in from across tens of millions or hundreds of millions of posts that are out there. If you think about it, it's actually a lot easier of a problem to basically take the several hundred things that your friends and the accounts that you follow have posted today and just to rank them in the order that you might want to see them. I mean, and we're not necessarily recommending you content. You've chosen to follow those people. And we're just making sure that, okay, if your cousin has a baby, you're not going to miss that.
Right.
Whereas like if someone who just posts a ton of stuff and you always ignore it, posts again, that maybe that's like a little further down or something. So the big shift, I think that there are really two major innovations recently, and I think you're right that TikTok really showed that a bunch of these things were possible. So one is the emergence of like really short form video, right? So when YouTube first came about, people kind of called YouTube short form compared to TV shows.
Right.
Now YouTube is kind of long form, right? So which is kind of crazy, and we're old.
Yeah.
But I think that partially what TikTok has shown is that basically there is a medium which is even more short form video that's really powerful, which I think builds on some of the stories formats that we've seen over the years. But I think that's a thing. Then that's one trend that I think is just pretty clear. Like video is becoming bigger across the apps. I think it's something like 50% or more of the time spent on Facebook now is watching video. So
and you've been calling out this video trend for years.
Yeah.
That's a known thing. I think the ranking thing and the focusing on unconnected is the big unlock.
That was what I'm going to get to. The AI technology to now not just be able to rank the content that you're following from friends, but also really be able to actually do a very good job of showing, of basically recommending content from the whole corpus of content that's out there, and making that be good. That's something that I think has only really started being possible in the last few years, to do very well. And the thing is, that doesn't just apply to video, right? So while TikTok might just be doing that for video, Facebook and Instagram are a lot of formats, right? So on Facebook you have, obviously there's photos, text, links, news, groups, long form video, all these different kinds of things, stories. On Instagram, there aren't all of those formats, but you have photo, long form video, stories, a bunch of different things, and hashtags, and the same basic discovery engine technology that makes it so that you can understand what a person might be interested in and understand the meaning of all these posts, and then match that up so that way you're showing a person something that they might be interested in, even if they never expressed an interest in that thing directly. That's going to apply to all these different formats. I think that's a really interesting problem and a really interesting opportunity that I think we uniquely have to be able to go build. Because it's over the history of our company, we've had a number of competitors that focus on a single format. And one of the things that I think we've done well is taken on the challenge of blending the different formats together into a single feed that basically can make it so that you can get all of the different content that you're interested in, because it's not all going to be video that you want to watch with sound on.
Yeah. And you clearly can't just flip a switch on this, like focusing on this changing feed into this discovery engine. It sounds very complex.
Yeah, but it's not a binary thing, right? So to your point about flipping a switch, we don't have to. What's basically going to happen is that over the next year or two, what you're going to see is just we'll start showing more recommended content in the feed. And we'll know that we're doing a good job because we'll basically be able to test because the content in the beginning is going to displace some other content.
Right.
And either displacing that content is going to lead to negative feedback from people and lead to, people connecting with each other less and all the metrics that we focus on, or it will actually lead to people connecting more and being more satisfied with the product. So in the beginning, we'll start off with, whether it's 10, 12% of the content will be recommended. But I actually think we'll get to a future in the next couple of years where, I don't know, you might have 30, 40% of the content is recommended. The people who you care about are always going to be really important to this. So I don't think that that's not going away, right? You'll always really want to get that content too. And I think that'll be an important differentiator for our services, being able to do that in addition to the recommended content. But I do think the amount of recommended content will ramp up.